doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi and welcome to my Hunter beta testing part 1. So I'm doing a lot of testing over on the beta, but this video is all about hunters because HMR. And for the love of Hunter Jesus, keep in mind this is beta. Things can and will change. First thing, it's a disappointment, but this had to be checked. Grimtotem Spirit Guide is not tameable. People would ask to see if maybe they put it back, but it's not a thing right now. If we cry hard enough, maybe. But Araga is more important, so Hunter Jesus, if you're listening, please save Araga. Underwater dash. Holy shit. I did not remember this, but it is amazing. So here's what dash does underwater on classic. Yeah, that's shit. Now, here it is on TBC beta. This may not seem like much, but this is actually really, really nice. Especially if you're going to farm like those eels in the pond next to Shatrath. And there are other times we're going to be underwater. So this, to me, counts as dope shit. Alright, I did some more testing with this, and it's actually pretty strange. So, I'm not sure if this is a bug, but it doesn't seem to work if you use Eyes of the Beast and then use dash underwater. It only seems to work if you just pet attack and send your pet in to attack a mob. Not with Eyes of the Beast. Really weird. Oh man. Cobra Reflexes and Avoidance. Both are still bugged. These are pet abilities learned from the pet trainer, but they just don't have them. So I went and tamed King Bang, who knows Cobra Reflexes when you tame him, but it seems there's no way to learn a passive ability from a pet, which does make sense. We'll have to wait until it's fixed to do any testing on this, but Cobra Reflexes should always be a gain. I doubt any new information will come about that changes that. Alright, the Template Hunter. So some people were interested in what the Template Hunter comes with, as it might give some indication what the boosted characters will have. Actually, are the template characters going to be the boosted characters? Shit, I don't know. I don't think they've said, but it is possible. Although, I thought the boosted characters would come with like some dungeon blues. These template characters have completely new gear, the communal set. Which makes sense. Hunter Jesus, communion, communal, right? But it's shit. Just shit. It's really, really bad. However, I do think it's strange they made completely new gear for these template characters. Even the trinkets are entirely new. The Template Hunter comes with a wolf that has a weird assortment of trained resistances. But you also get 2 pets in your stable, a 57 cat, and a diseased wolf that is just really pissed off at me because it ran away the second I took it out of the stable. Weird. Steady shot macros. Alright, this is asked like every 2 minutes in chat. And we did some testing on this during stream, but I wanted to do some more thorough testing. So let's look at some different macros here. I asked for different ones, people wanted tested on stream, and I was given 3 different ones. Let's take a look at the first one. Now, you can probably tell this is obviously not going to work. This is just going to turn on auto shot and keep it on, and then start a steady shot every time I click it. So you just end up with essentially steady shot, but also kill commanding when you can. Not great. Let's check this one. It's the one you've probably seen everywhere, and it sorta works. Kinda. Alright, not really. So it usually fires a steady shot after the auto, but not always. Every time I have tested it, it will break, and you will fire autos back to back before steady works again. You'll see a lot of people say you need to put a certain speed in that corresponds to your ranged attack speed +1, but that's a little misleading. That doesn't do much. That just resets the sequence if it fails to complete. So even putting something like your speed +0.4 shouldn't make a difference, because once the sequence completes, it starts over automatically. That's just there if, you know, things get fucked. And we can see that with this macro, which, well, alright, it doesn't really work at all. It's pretty much the same as the previous one, except it's trying to query my attack speed in real time and use that for the sequence reset. Good idea, but you can't do that. It just breaks. But why do we need all this shit anyway? Just do a simple cast sequence macro. Well, that works pretty well. but if it breaks, there's no reset to fix it. It's just fucking broke. But here's the real thing. Why do we need any of this? This is just a 1-to-1 rotation where we weave a steady in between autos. We've literally been doing things like this for all of Classic, and it's not hard at all. If you're just worried about missing kill commands, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue either. And for PvE DPS, we can test for ways to macro it in and make it easier once we're at 66. Although I've heard there's a little bit of a weird queuing issue with kill command right now. We'll test that later. Alright, now you might be thinking, what about a 3-to-2 rotation? It's probably dead. Now, that sucks, and that can have some effects on our weapon choices. If we look back at the original discoveries of the 3-to-2 rotation, it was made possible because of the way the global cooldown was handled client-side. This let you squeeze more shots in than you would have been able to otherwise. Right now, we can't do that on the TBC beta. Maybe they will add something in to try and recreate it like they did with batching, but I kind of doubt that. You can still do a 3-to-2 rotation where you just clip, but I don't think that's going to end up as top DPS. So where things stand right now, it seems like you can kind of use a macro, but I don't see much of a point to one outside of potentially for kill command. And we are going to be using a 1-to-1 rotation. But again, before you start posting them angry comments, 6 months from now, things can change and there are still a lot of things to test. There's a lot I want to test with mana efficiency and range attack speed, and also a lot of mark stuff. I don't expect marks to be topping meters and raids, but it's good to know how it works. Alright, that was too much math and sciencey shit. Let's move on. Stacking Ferocious Inspiration. Personally, I have not been able to go test this, but I have been told it is stacking without any issue from multiple sources now, so I think this is how it's going to be. And what that means is the potential for Marksman Hunter with TSR in the group is pretty much gone. BM stacking is going to be insane. And a few other things that still need to be tested. So Mark of Conquest, it's level 62, but strangely the tooltip in game is different than the Wowhead tooltip. I don't know what's up with that, but I can't get the Thrallmar marks to purchase this just yet. Trinket swapping in raids. Not able to go into raids yet, so we can't really do this. You wouldn't expect any differences, but I was reading some old EJ threads and people were complaining about having some issues with this specifically in raids. So we'll just have to wait another week or so to be positive. PvP gear is still broken. In fact, there are no NPCs in the Champions Hall or Hall of Legends, so I can't even look at the blue PvP gear. We will need the PvP gloves to test some marks things later on, so hopefully they fix that by then. Melee weaving. So I haven't done any melee weaving testing. Some people are already working on it, and it might be good. There's a lot of arguing, but it seems like there is going to be a place for it, which is really nice to hear. I'll probably end up doing some marks testing before I get to melee weaving, but I am interested in it. So with all that shit out of the way, let's talk about how Hunter just feels to play right now, because this is the most important thing. No numbers, just how much fun am I having playing a Hunter in TBC right now? A lot. It is fucking great. There are really only two negatives I can think of. Until you get to 64 and get Aspect of the Viper, mana is not great, it's actually really weird. Especially once you have Steady Shot, you're going to want to pump those off like crazy, but you'll go really fast. On the beta we can get Mage Blood and Mana Potions. Keeping those rolling does help a lot. So I would recommend having a good number of those for 60 to 63. Pet aggro also sucks, but it's weird. So I know I wanted to go out there, get a Ravager and just go wild with gore. But you really can't. Shit. So if you have your Ravager auto-goring, he will dump all his focus and be out when you send him to the next mob. The best option I've found is to gore manually. So growl and bite on auto, and then use gore manually when you crit and restore a bunch of your pet's focus with go for the throat. Even doing that, I was having some weird pet threat issues, where I haven't even attacked the mob, and my pet cannot pull aggro. I don't know if this is a bug where min pet is causing crazy threat for me, or my pet is just getting an insane amount of growl resists, but this is something that might need some further testing. Other than those issues, it's been incredible. Like seriously, with the changes to BM and of course Steady Shot, it is just hits. When I'm pumping out steadies after popping all my cooldowns, it's like Hunter Jesus himself has pissed arrows of joy all over me, and it couldn't be any better. Aside from the threat problems, my pet is a goddamn beast. It's doing really solid damage, and even a Ravager just doesn't die, even tanking multiple mobs. We've also been able to solo most group quests with it tanking. The Giants and Hellfire were not bad, but he couldn't tank for Cruel's Intentions. That was a bit too much. If you asked, how am I feeling about TBC Hunter right now? I am ecstatic, and it's been a long time since I've had this much fun playing Hunter, and you know I love classic Hunter. Alright, so that's all we are covering today, but there's going to be a lot more in the coming weeks, including streams. Definitely let me know if there's anything specific you'd like to see covered. We can do it on stream, or if I do it off stream, it'll end up in one of these videos. If you enjoyed the video, hit that sub button, bell, like button, join button, suck button, share button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get. And I have to give a massive, massive shout out to all the new members. We've gotten so many lately, and I am incredibly grateful. That really, really motivates me to put out the best videos I possibly can, because I know there are people out there that are actually enjoying them enough to click that join button. Again, massive thanks to all those new members. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.